We've seen a lot in the NBA, but this one here is a different flavor. When Isiah Thomas comes out and says, "We ain't at the YMCA," and calls for LeBron James to be fined for not wearing a shirt, you best believe it's going to cause some wave. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to think, but let me tell you why this situation is bigger than a simple wardrobe choice. What we got here is a full-on debate about professionalism, respect for the game, and how the culture of the NBA has evolved. Whether that evolution is for the better or worse. LeBron James, the king, the icon, the standard. Let's start with LeBron James. This man right here has done more for the game of basketball than almost anyone in history. On the court, no doubt. Off the court, even bigger. His legacy is cemented, and it's clear that he's not just a basketball player. He's a global brand, a mentor, and for many, a role model. But here's the thing. That level of fame and influence doesn't come without a bit of scrutiny. And when you've been in the spotlight, as long as LeBron, every move, every gesture, and yes, every outfit gets looked at under a magnifying glass. But see, that's the problem for some of these older heads, like Isiah Thomas. They come from a different era. Back in their day, you had to keep your professionalism in check at all times, especially when representing the A, and if you didn't, there were consequences. So, when LeBron decides to step out without a shirt, even in a casual situation, it rubs people the wrong way, especially those who came up in the 80s and 90s, when the NBA was about structure, discipline, and respect for the institution. The rant that set the internet on fire now, Isiah wasn't holding back. He came out swinging with a comment about how LeBron's lack of a shirt is a symbol of how far the NBA has strayed from its roots. He said, and I quote, "We ain't at the YMCA." What he meant by that is that the NBA is not some recreational league where anything goes. It's a professional sport, and with that professionalism comes a certain level of decorum. It's about representing the league, your team, and most importantly, the history of the game. Now, I get it. Isiah's point isn't just about a shirt. This man, he's talking about respect for the game, respect for the standards that have been in place for decades. We can't just throw out tradition and say, we're doing things differently now. Professionalism matters, and that's what Isiah is trying to remind us. Back in the day, players had to come correct, not just with their game, but with their appearance, their attitude, and their overall approach to being the public eye. But Isiah's rant, is it fair? Now, here's where it gets interesting. While I can respect Isiah's perspective, he's got the experience to back it up. Let's be real. Times have changed. The NBA is not the same league it was when Isiah played. You think about the early days of the league, and it was a different animal. The players were known for their stiff suits and tight collars, not for their swagger. But as the league grew, so did the personalities. The players started expressing themselves more on and off the court, and that's something we've seen flourish into what the NBA is today. LeBron James, as I mentioned earlier, is the face of that modern NBA. His whole persona is about breaking barriers, pushing boundaries, and letting his personality shine through. Does that always fit with traditional ideas of professionalism? Maybe not. But we can't deny that it has worked. LeBron is the epitome of what the modern athlete looks like. Someone who transcends the game, takes control of his brand, and speaks his mind. So, Isiah wanting him fined for not wearing a shirt, it feels a little old school. In 2025, the NBA is about individuality. It's about expressing yourself, both in how you play and how you present yourself off the court. If a guy like LeBron, who has done more for the game than almost anyone, wants to go shirtless in a casual setting, I'm not sure that's something we need to get worked up about. The argument for tradition, but don't get it twisted. But don't get it twisted. I'm not saying tradition doesn't matter. It absolutely does. And Isiah's call for professionalism is important. The NBA is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and with that kind of money comes expectation. The league, the teams, and the players all represent something bigger than themselves. They represent the culture of the game. And with that comes responsibility. You think about the greats like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. They understood that responsibility. They knew what it meant to wear that NBA logo, to wear those uniforms, and to carry themselves as champions, both on and off the court. And I hear Isiah's argument loud and clear. If you're going to represent the NBA, then you need to show respect for it. That respect doesn't just show up in how you play. It shows up in how you carry yourself in public, how you present yourself to the fans, and yes, even in the way you dress. The league might have evolved, but that respect for the institution of basketball, for the history and the legends who came before you, can't get lost in the shuffle. LeBron and the NBA's changing identity, but here's where I think Isiah, while right in his own time, may be missing the mark. The NBA's identity has shifted. It's not just a sport anymore. It's a global phenomenon. We got players making millions off of endorsement deals, social media followers, and their own personal brands. We got stars like LeBron, Zion, and Giannis who are walking, talking billboards. And the reality is, the NBA has embraced that. They've embraced the individuality, the creativity, the freedom that comes with the new age athlete. Players like LeBron are doing things outside of basketball that the game has never seen before. So, when LeBron doesn't wear a shirt at an event, it's not just about being disrespectful, it's about setting a tone, about doing things his way. LeBron's not just a player, he's a movement, and that movement doesn't fit neatly into Isiah's idea of professionalism. It's bigger than that. What does this mean for the NBA moving forward? This whole situation raises an important question for the NBA. Where do we go from here? Is the NBA going to continue embracing this new wave of individuality? Or will they go back to stricter professionalism, like we saw in the 80s and 90s? Personally, I think the NBA will continue to evolve. They'll keep finding that balance between embracing modern culture and maintaining the professionalism that's necessary to uphold the integrity of the game. But don't get it twisted, my people. Professionalism still matters. LeBron doesn't need to be wearing a suit every day. But he also can't forget that when you're at the top, you're representing more than just yourself. You're representing a legacy. And if Isiah Thomas wants to say, "We ain't at the YMCA," he's not wrong. But the reality is, the NBA has changed. And with that change comes a different approach to professionalism. Final thoughts at the end of the day, this isn't just about LeBron wearing a shirt or not. It's about the culture of the NBA and the way we view professionalism in a modern, evolving sports landscape. Isiah Thomas has a point, but so does LeBron. The game has changed, and with it, the rules around what constitutes professionalism. And while I respect the past, I also respect progress. So, let LeBron do his thing. The man's earned it. He's changed the game forever. And that's something you can take away no matter what shirt he's wearing. Now I'll say this. We've got a long way to go when it comes to defining what professionalism looks like in this new NBA. But I know one thing's for sure. We'll keep talking about it. And as long as we keep talking, the game continues to grow. That's the beauty of it.
Hello, xin chào tất cả mọi người. Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn mọi người làm một chú gấu nha. Mọi người cùng bắt tay và làm với mình nha. Đây là những dụng cụ mình đã chuẩn bị để mình làm nha mọi người. Mình đã chuẩn bị một cái kéo và hai tờ giấy, một tờ giấy màu xanh lá và một tờ giấy màu vàng nhạt nha. Bây giờ mọi người cùng bắt tay và làm với mình nha. Mình sẽ cho hai tờ giấy lại bằng nhau và mình cắt nha. Mình gấp chéo tờ giấy lại. Tiếp theo là mình sẽ sử dụng kéo để mình cắt. Tiếp theo là mình sẽ gập chéo một lần nữa nha. Tiếp theo là mình tở ra nha. Tiếp theo bên này mình cũng làm vậy. Bên này mình cũng gấp vậy nha. Tiếp theo là phần này mình cũng gấp vậy. Bên này mình cũng gấp vào nha. Mình sẽ vuốt cho mọi người. Tiếp theo mình sẽ lật lên nha. Mình sẽ gấp phần này lên đây nha. Mình sẽ cắt cái phần thừa này đi nha.